The United States is promising that airstrikes are just the beginning of its campaign to destroy Islamic State terrorists. The US is now bombing terror sites within Syria with the help of several Arab nations. This situation is unfolding as world leaders gather in New York for the latest UN General Assembly. I'm joined now by Otago University international relations expert Robert Patman. Hi there, Robert.
Good morning, Michael.
Now, the bombardment now of Syria, we've had bombardments in Iraq. What's the likelihood of success, do you think?
Oh, I think there's quite a bit. I think Airpower will achieve quite notable short-term successes, but I don't think it's a substitute for a victory on the ground against the Islamic State, or ISIS as it's sometimes known by its acronym. And at the moment, the Obama administration has carried out about 200 airstrikes in northern Iraq with the consent of the Iraqi government, and about 20 airstrikes in Syria without the consent of the Syrian government. But they're also trying to train, and Mr. Obama has set aside $500 million for this purpose, a force of moderate Syrian rebels, and they're being trained in Saudi Arabia. The hope is that they can take on the Islamic State on the ground because, as your question implied, there are limitations to what Airpower can achieve.
The Syrian regime, the Assad regime, are they effectively giving tacit approval to these strikes?
No, I think they're wary. And their major supporter, Iran, has actually said the airstrikes are illegal. I think the Syrian regime is wary, Michael, because they're worried that in the name of attacking targets belonging to the Islamic State, that the United States might expand their range of targets to include positions held by the Syrian government. Now, I don't think that's necessarily likely, but it is a possibility. And so the Syrians fear that the Americans may actually be, going for two targets instead of one.
Now, the UN General Assembly meeting, what can be achieved there, do you think?
Well, I think from Mr. Obama's point of view, he's looking to consolidate what is a rapidly growing coalition. We've learnt that a number of Arab states participated in the airstrikes on Syria on Monday, and I think that it looks like Mr. Cameron, the British leader, is now set to make Britain a partner in this enterprise. And in Washington, there's talk that more than 40 countries have signed up to this sort of coalition of the willing. Mr. Obama's making it quite clear, however, he's anxious not to repeat what he sees as the mistakes of the Bush administration in Iraq many years earlier.
OK, thanks very much for your time. That's Professor Robert Patman there from Otago University.